Let's take it one at a time in terms of what's next. What's next for the Jets? What is their plan at quarterback? They've got 3 in the building right now. And, you know, the most veteran is Tyrod Taylor. So what's their plan?
Well, and Tyrod Taylor could certainly be an option. They signed him to a 2-year deal. So hypothetically, that could be something where that's a fallback option to start. You know, they have to be looking in the draft. The issue with the draft is, and again, this all has to play out, but there's really only 2 quarterbacks right now who are good bets to go in the first round, much less high in the first round, where the value would be there. Do you feel like you can get a guy in the second round or trade back up into the late first? You know, where does Jackson Dart fall into all of this? Where does Quinn Ewers fall into all this? There's a bunch of different quarterback options, but they're very early in that process. Again, they're right now, again, because of the speed with which this thing moves, once you got through all the interviews they did and took their time and went through the process, Aaron Glenn's been meeting with his coaching staff all day. Darren Muji's been working through draft meetings all day. Like they're getting their feet on the ground, and they got to be ready to hit it running next week in Indianapolis.
Do they dare reach out to Sam Darnold and kick a tire?
I mean, I think that everybody who has a quarterback need at least checks on that.
I
think it would be very difficult.
Let me rephrase.
I do not foresee that.
Thank you.
I think
would he
for
say
Sam,
new phone? Who dis? Like,
I mean,
I'm sure he does have a new phone.
The one thing we know is in free agency money talks. Does Sam Darnold want to go back to New York? Would he want to go back into that organization? I still believe the best fit for Sam Darnold is staying in Minnesota. Well, and the best option for the Vikings, just to protect J.J. McCarthy and the investment they've made in him and what they see for his future, is to bring Sam Darnold back. I mean, you don't have what is the last team that had a 27-year-old Pro Bowl quarterback coming off his best season going into free agency while also having a 22-year-old first-round pick in the building? They're in uncharted territory here.
With the reigning coach of the year making some buttons pushing fresh off of a new contract that I'm sure Kevin O'Connell got richly deserved. And I hear you. Like that allows McCarthy to come back in at his own pace. Or
he hasn't taken a rep.
I understand that, and this would be the way to maybe the Vikings do that. But Kevin O'Connell was talking on Radio Row last week of that Sam Darnold has earned the right to hit free agency, which is code for if he leaves, for a certain amount of money that we're unwilling to hit, that's the way it goes.
And that's what happened last year with Kirk Cousins. It only takes one team to blow it out of the water. There were scenarios where they were going to bring him back, but the Vikings mentality is, how do we set up the whole roster to put a championship roster around whoever's playing quarterback? And so there's going to be, a certain number that you get to, and it's not going to be doable. So what I would anticipate the Vikings do, and there's not a ton of things in motion yet. But what I would anticipate is they figure out, can we get a deal done with Sam Darnold at a number that works for us? Probably that number is right around the franchise tag, which is around $40 million. If you can't get a deal done, and listen, his agents have done a lot of these deals. They're going to know what the marketplace is for Sam Darnold. If you can't get that done, then the Vikings have a decision to make. Do we tag him, potentially bring him back for 1 year at around $40 million, which then creates some issues in terms of the amount of cap that eats up for your whole offseason, or do we even tag him and trade him? I mean, again, what's the precedent for letting a 27-year-old Pro Bowl quarterback walk for a third-round comp pick in 2026? That hasn't happened. And so there's a lot of different moving parts in the situation. I do know this. One way or another, there'll be a veteran on the roster. J.J. McCarthy's going to be ready to go at the start of OTAs, from what I've been told, making great progress. He had that extra procedure, but he's doing well. So he'll be ready. But what they don't want to have is the pressure on J.J. McCarthy. You got to be ready to start week 1. And we're rolling you out there no matter what this thing looks like. Whether that's Sam Darnold, whether that's Daniel Jones, whether that's somebody else, that's going to be how they're set up.
That's right. They also have a former number 6th overall pick sitting right there from the Giants cutting Daniel Jones, and we'll see what happens on that front. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.